The scrolls speak of a storm that leaves no witness, only echoes of despair. In recap, Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, Chapter 1533, Chapter 1534, the once mighty shattered peak now smoulders under the aftermath of a cataclysmic clash, its stones scorched and the air thick with the scent of sulfur and blood. Within this ruin, Emperor Tianxuan's gaze narrows, calculating every shadow as rival sects whisper their schemes, and unseen poisons slither through alliances like vipers in the dark. Tonight, the balance of the Divine Dao trembles, and every step may awaken forces long thought buried. What new horrors will rise from the ashes, and who will claim dominion in this deadly game of alchemy and ambition? In the dim light of the immortal realm's expanse, a tense silence settled over the assembly. The tranquil heart saint, his aura radiating a calm yet lethal authority, fixed his gaze on Ling Han and bellowed, "Cease your foolishness! Step back!" The words were sharp, yet beneath them lingered a hint of disbelief. Did he truly require his disciple to shield him from a foe he had not yet faced? Ling Han, ever composed, allowed a wry smile to curl upon his lips. "He is but a nobody from some forgotten corner of the lands," he said, his voice steady and unshaken. "Why should I fear a single strike from him?" The disciples around him erupted in fervent cheers. Youthful blood surged, hearts ignited by the audacity of their comrade. "Well said, Senior Brother Ling," they shouted, voices intertwining into a chorus of unrestrained admiration. Even the older disciples, hardened by years of discipline, could not help but be swept along, their pride refusing to bow despite the shadow of death looming from Hu Yingmu's hand. Hu Yingmu's eyes narrowed into cold slits. Mere insects, daring to belittle him? A cruel smile spread across his face as he waved a hand, his voice laced with threat. "Come then. I shall crush you into pieces with but a single strike, and each fragment will be of equal measure." Ling Han's hand rose in a casual gesture, dismissing the grandiose threat. "Cease your boasting. Soon you shall see the consequence of such arrogance." Hu Yingmu's laughter rolled across the arena like thunder. This youth, barely 100 years of age, yet standing at the pinnacle of the low extreme of the eternal river Tyr, dared to defy him? Such raw talent rivaled the supreme prodigies of the Forbidden Lands, and slaying such a prodigy promised a satisfaction unlike any other. Amidst the tension, a sudden bark echoed, sharp, commanding, and impossibly loud. The large black dog had joined the fray, his voice weaving through the disciples as though dancing across the winds. Impossible to pin down, Hu Yingmu's expression faltered. Centuries of disciplined cultivation had never prepared him for such insolence, a curse aimed at the very foundation of his lineage. "Who dares to bark?" he demanded, his divine sense rolling outward like crashing waves, seeking the source of this audacious voice. "It is your grandpa dog. If you can, come bite me." The voice echoed from all directions, an enigma even the saints could not unravel. Ling Han's patience thinned. "Are we going to fight, or shall we waste time?" he asked, his tone carrying the weight of certainty and impatience. Laughter rippled through the ranks of disciples, their spirits lifted from the shadow of past defeats by this daring interplay. Hu Yingmu's gaze snapped back to Ling Han, calculating. The dog could wait. First, the prodigy must fall. To kill one such as him promised both satisfaction and the reclaiming of pride. Before the confrontation could escalate, the tranquil heart saint interjected, his roar slicing through the tension. "Stand down!" Yet Ling Han's resolve did not waver. The Star Sand Saint, too, could not bear to see such potential extinguished and descended, golden aura blazing, commanding the young disciple to retreat. "Step back," he urged, eyes flickering with concern. Hu Yingmu, undeterred, replied with arrogance that matched his reputation. "I shall leave only if granted what I desire, or if one among you can withstand a single strike of mine. Then I will depart with acknowledgement of my misjudgment." The Star Sand Saint's expression darkened, killing intent coiling around him like a storm. Ling Han, however, stepped forward, eyes alight with unwavering certainty. "Let me face him. He is but a pawn," he declared. His confidence was not born of naivety, but of a deep, unshakable understanding of his own cultivation and strength. The Star Sand Saint felt an unfamiliar stirring within him, a rare doubt, a rare awe. Talent alone was not enough. This young man's unshakable demeanor, his audacious courage, moved even a great saint. This youth is destined for greatness, he thought, vowing silently to protect him, even if it meant provoking the Saint Kings themselves. Ling Han advanced until he stood mere breaths away from Hu Yingmu. "One strike, then?" he asked, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Only one." Hu Yingmu answered, his tone calm, his arrogance intact. Ling Han chuckled softly. "Three, then. One strike may make you reluctant to admit failure." Gasps rippled through the disciples. To jest with a saint was unthinkable, yet Ling Han did so with a confidence that radiated in every word, every gesture. Even the large black dog could not hide a grin, wondering if this audacious youth was perhaps his own prodigal offspring. Hu Yingmu's eyes burned with fury. His patience snapped. "Die, measly ant," he thought, his palms surging forward with the casual full force of a saint, a strike capable of obliterating the very heavens. Boom! The earth trembled, dust and debris cascading around them. Every disciple braced for the end of their comrade, yet something impossible unfolded. As the dust cleared, Ling Han emerged, untouched, radiating calm and power. An eternal river tier elite, standing firm against a saint's strike. Such a sight defied reason, shattered expectations, and left all witnesses in stunned silence. The heavens themselves seemed to hold their breath. Ling Han's victory was absolute, a testament to his unparalleled cultivation, audacity, and indomitable spirit. "Holy God," the disciples whispered, their voices trembling with awe and disbelief. The impossible had become reality. Ling Han had not merely survived, he had made legend. In the shadowed arena of the Star Sand Martial Arts Academy, where the air itself seemed to hum with anticipation, no one could have foreseen the impossible. Ling Han, the unassuming young disciple, had just achieved the unimaginable. He had withstood the strike of a saint. Gasps rippled through the gathered disciples, their eyes wide in disbelief, their hearts struggling to reconcile the impossible with reality. Hu Yingmu, the eternal river tier elite, felt his mind reel as his pride cracked. His eyes bulged, hands trembling, as a storm of confusion and fury overtook him. "What sorcery is this?" he thought, his voice echoing in his own mind. "Was my power somehow diminished, or has fate turned against me? How could an eternal river tier disciple deflect my strike?" The weight of disbelief pressed upon him, heavy and suffocating. A tense silence fell across the crowd, pregnant with disbelief, before erupting into an ecstatic roar. The disciples had longed for a hero, someone to defy Hu Yingmu, to vindicate the honor of the academy, and now their dream had materialized. Ling Han had not only withstood a saint's strike but emerged untouched, a beacon of hope, a force of destiny stepping into legend. Voices rang out, unrestrained and fervent. "Senior Brother Ling! Senior Brother Ling!" The cries surged like a tidal wave. Even the senior disciples, long accustomed to hierarchy and respect, joined in, recognizing the unprecedented. Ling Han, who could endure the might of a saint, could not be anything less than a future saint himself. Recognition, awe, and admiration radiated from every corner, and even Long Xiangyue's gaze sparkled with a mixture of love and reverence, the kind of devotion one reserves for the extraordinary. Among the spectators, the most seasoned cultivators shook their heads in astonishment. Zi Chenfeng, Hong Ma, and others, masters of formidable skill, could barely comprehend the sheer magnitude of Ling Han's power, and yet only a handful, Ling Han himself, Empress Luan Xing, and a few trusted observers, knew the truth. Ling Han had not relied solely on his own cultivation, but had called upon the boundless resilience of the indestructible Heaven Scroll, channeling its power to withstand the saint's might. Though his personal strength had grown tremendously, it was this legendary artifact that made the feat possible, a bridge between mortal ability and divine resilience. The disciples, emboldened, turned their attention to Hu Yingmu with scornful jeers. "Apologize! God!" Their voices collided in a roaring chorus, echoing like mountains collapsing. Even the prodigious cultivators among them lent their powerful voices, amplifying the defiance against the arrogance of the Forbidden Lands elite. Hu Yingmu's face darkened. This spectacle was a brutal humiliation, a blow to his ego so sharp it could cut steel. Yet pride chained his tongue. He could not lower himself to beg forgiveness from ants, not when he was a saint among mortals. Ling Han's challenge was simple, yet daring. 3 strikes. The disciples froze at the audacity, eyes wide in disbelief. 3 strikes? This monster dares provoke a saint thrice. The air thickened with tension. as the celestial might of Hu Yingmu manifested, a shimmering silver river of stars coalescing behind his back. Ling Han, matching him with equal splendor, unleashed his own river, a silent testament to his inner power and mastery. The second strike thundered down with divine velocity. Dust and debris erupted under the sheer force of Hu Yingmu's palm. The crowd held their collective breath. When the air settled, Ling Han stood unbroken, resolute, unshaken, a pillar of indomitable will. Excitement erupted like wildfire, cries of "Senior Brother Ling" deafening the arena. The impossible had happened again. The impossible had become tangible. Hu Yingmu, consumed by disbelief, clenched his jaw. An eternal river-tier elite should not withstand the strikes of a saint. Yet here stood Ling Han, proving the depth of his cultivation, the brilliance of his strategy, and the terrifying mastery over his newfound power. The final challenge loomed, Ling Han's voice calm yet commanding. One strike remains. Will you use it, or will you retract your arrogance and apologize? Rage and envy warred within Hu Yingmu, but wisdom whispered caution. Ling Han's power, combined with the resolute might of the Star Sand Saint overseeing the duel, left him no avenue for defiance. Slowly, reluctantly, he bowed his head and admitted his fault, the roar of disciples exploding into joyous triumph. The arrogant had been humbled, the haughty forced to their knees, and the Academy's honor preserved. Yet the tale did not end there. Ling Han, with eyes aflame and aura radiating relentless fury, intercepted Hu Yingmu's retreat. Your apologies were for your ignorance. Now you will answer for targeting my wife. Those who attack the innocent find no mercy from me. The disciples froze, hearts pounding. Whispers of shock and awe swept through the ranks. Here was a cultivator whose strength was matched by an unyielding sense of justice. A hero in every sense of the word, a legend in the making, as the legend of Ling Han continued to unfold in the annals of the Star Sand Martial Arts Academy. The winds of destiny swirled, carrying the echoes of awe, fury, and reverence. In the shadows of that fateful day, a new chapter of martial arts legend had been written, one marked by indomitable courage, celestial power, and the unbreakable will of a young man destined to ascend beyond mere mortals. The arena, still trembling from the confrontation, now bore witness to a hero whose name would be spoken in reverent whispers for generations to come.